All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you can all join me here today. Had to look down for a second and make sure that my microphone was unmuted. It's been a couple of days since I've done one of these. I'll explain more in just a little bit. Again, I'm glad you can all join me here tonight. It is Thursday, July 15, 2021, the day that this is being recorded live or, done live. If you're watching this down the road, please continue watching because all of my live streams, if not most of them, have excellent replay value and it's evergreen content that will make sense a year or two down the road. Now, before we get to tonight's topic, let me just make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out on the YouTube side of things, and it absolutely has. And let me also make sure the back end of YouTube is rolling smoothly. And it absolutely is. And once again, we're also simulcasting live on Facebook. The back end of Facebook looks well. And let's check out the front end of Facebook just to make sure it's working properly. Give me just a second here. We're at the top of the news feed. Well, let's check out the front end of Facebook just to make sure it's working properly. And it is. It is. Thank you, Coach Eli on Facebook. We have one person out there on Facebook. Feel free to say hello in the comment section, the chat section of Facebook. I will be periodically checking out the Facebook chat probably every 10 minutes or so. I do pay more attention to the YouTube side of things. So if you'd prefer to come over to YouTube, just look at the Facebook description section. Can't get the words out. I'm so excited to be back. And it'll give you a link to my channel, and you can subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, and, there are more active people on the YouTube chat, the YouTube side of things. Everything is rolling smoothly. Just one more piece of business before we get down to business. My channel on YouTube, my simulcast on Facebook, and my entire brand is sponsored by my good longtime friend, Troy Brewer, of over 10 years. He's run an amazing marketing company for over 15 years called the Discover Community Network. And what he does is he helps people with their branding and marketing, and also has some excellent products and services for businesses and consumers that he can recommend to you through his large, trusted associates of people that he's connected with. And I know many of these people. They're amazing. So if you need help from Troy in any way, shape, or form, please go to the description on the YouTube side of things, about a third of the way down, and click on the top link, discovercommunitynetwork.com. If you're on Facebook, you can go to the top of the search bar and type in Discover Community Network, and that'll take you to their main business page on Facebook. If you'd like to set up a free consultation with Troy by phone, you can reach out to him, or you can even reach out to me if you prefer to do that. I'll make the personal intro for you in a three-way email, email. There we go. And we can even arrange to have a conference call with Troy. And if you want to have me on that conference call, I'd be happy to join you on there. Troy would have no problem with that. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. So with that being said, thank you very much, Troy, for your continued sponsorship and patronage of my brand. Lots of love from Coach Eli and the Coach Eli clan. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. We're going to get right to it because I am a little bit tired, but not crazy tired. I took the last 2 days off to go out of town with my activity partner. Haven't done that in quite some time, so wanted to get out of town and, just get away from it all, and get out there, do some walking, hiking, explore a new area, which we did. It was a good time. But while I was on this little mini vacation or mini getaway, whatever you want to call it, something popped into my head. This topic popped into my head because I personally experienced this. And I'm like thinking to myself, man, have I gotten a little lazy myself? Because I'm not a lazy guy. Well, let's get to the topic here. and we'll get right to it. I'm going to share my story, and then I have a total of 4 Reddit postings to go through. So this show's probably going to be about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours max, hopefully an hour and a half, because I would like to get some rest. I'm a little bit sore, and, that's because, of the hiking and stuff. But we'll get through it just fine. But I have 4 Reddit postings to go through regarding this topic, and it's going to blow your mind what these people are saying. And if you haven't already noticed, you're going to have your mind blown away at how lazy of a society we've become in this modern world, and how some people are overcoming it. And I'm going to share with you folks how I prevent myself from getting lazy in this modern world that's become way, way too convenient, primarily because of these things, right? The smartphone, right? So the topic of tonight's show is we live in a lazy society taking most things for granted. How to fix this? One more time. We live in a lazy society taking most things for granted. How to fix this? Let me check out the chat real quick, and then I'm going to share my story that inspired me to do this topic immediately when I came back from my little getaway. I came back home probably about 4 hours ago. I unpacked everything, and I said, you know what? Let's do a stream. Let's just do it. Let's not be lazy and take another day off. Let's just do it, right? Right? Plus, if I took a third day off without making people aware, which I didn't make people aware, I just took off, right? People would start to worry. Eli, are you okay? You haven't responded to any private messages or emails. You haven't done a stream in a few days or a video, right? You know how it goes. You know the drill, right? But yeah, nothing happening over on the Facebook side of things. On YouTube, we have Queen Helen Casey in the house. Hello, Queen. How are you doing? The Queen is here. She says you're good. And then she furthermore says, and it's going to be long novels? No, it's not going to be long novels. No. We're going to read some short postings. I'm going to give my opinions, and then we're going to read what the people said in the comments section. And it's going to be interesting. Trust me on that. So what inspired me to do this topic? And by the way, if you clicked on the thumbnail on YouTube or on Facebook, the thumbnail says, has the modern world become too convenient? One more time, has the modern world become too convenient? If I had to answer that question on the fly right now, or if anyone asked me that in person, I would immediately say, yes, it's become way, way too convenient. Once again, primarily because of these smartphones and the internet, right? And how easy it is to have access to things without having to make any effort. We have Amazon that delivers practically anything and everything to your front doorstep within a day or two, right? And, we have many other, things I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But there's also another thing that's become very, very popular lately. I mean, it started to trend a few years back when smartphones started becoming more mainstream. I'd say probably about 6 years ago when smartphones started to get some really good power. Like when I had the iPhone 6 Plus, I think the iPhone 6 and that era about 6 years ago was when smartphones were starting to become more powerful. Before that, they were okay, but they didn't have the power they have today. Today, my iPhone, 12 Pro Max, I wouldn't say it's as powerful as my brand new laptop, but it's more powerful than my older laptop, which was a pretty powerful laptop for its time, when it came out 8 years ago. So it's just unbelievable. It's insane what you can do with these phones and how lazy they've made us. But while I was on, my little getaway, once my activity partner and I got to the hotel room on Tuesday night, it was getting pretty late, not too terribly late. It was like 7 o'clock or around 8 o'clock or so, right? and we both hadn't eaten, right? So Queen says the whole world is becoming commie. Okay. Well, Queen, that's your opinion. Interesting. Wait till we get to the Reddit postings. I think you're going to like what's said there. But yeah, we both hadn't eaten yet, right? And typically, I like to go out to dinner, or take some takeout, bring it back to the room, right? But this time I said, you know what? Let me look online and let me look at DoorDash. I'm sure you've all heard of DoorDash. If not, it's addicting. It's very addicting. So what is DoorDash? It's an app, or you can even use the web-based version, but it's easier to use the app. It's an app that, retailers and restaurants can, become a part of and actually deliver fresh food right to your front doorstep. And let me tell you how easy this is if you don't already know. I'm going to say it regardless because it's too easy. It can make any decent person become super lazy and addicted to it, right? So I went to scroll for nearby restaurants and stuff, right? And I found a local, burger joint. I like trying like local restaurants, like more of the mom and pop type of restaurants, not the chain ones, because they typically create, they typically make better food. They use better ingredients. It's going to be a little more expensive, obviously, but I wanted to get a good meal of similar quality as I would get going to a decent, burger joint or bar and grill or a nice restaurant, right? Queen Helen Case says, I have a friend who works for DoorDash. They probably make very good money. The tips are great if people aren't cheap and they don't stiff the driver, right? And the drivers get 100% of the tips because there is a 15% convenience fee with DoorDash unless you purchase like their like premium plan or something like that. I haven't looked too much into it. But so I went on the app, looked for some burgers and some appetizers and stuff like that. We ordered our food. We put, exactly what we wanted, medium rare or whatever, cheddar cheese, add guacamole, add bacon, add whatever, right? Order a side of this, a side of that, throw in a couple packs of, barbecue sauce and ranch, right? So we ordered the food the way we wanted it, right? You can request extras and stuff. And it also gives you an option in case the restaurant is out of stock or doesn't have something that you requested. You have an option of, having the restaurant contact you or to allow the restaurant to substitute something of similar value or something that would make sense, right? And that's what I chose. I chose, if anything's out of stock, allow the restaurant to decide what the best substitute is, right? So, I'm done with the food order. I go in there, I put in my credit card, my debit card, whatever, right? And it says, food will be delivered within typically like 25 to 35 minutes or so, right? So I put in the order, right? Put in the order, pay for it, right? The app sends me a notification. Your order's been received by, the restaurant. We will keep you in the loop, blah, 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 of its status, right? Okay. And remember, they put a recommended time like 25 to 35 minutes or something like that, right? Like literally, like 12 or 13 minutes later, it said that your food order has been picked up by DoorDash. Let's just make up a name, Veronica, right? Tells you the driver's name, right? You should expect your food to be there, during this time, which is quicker than the time they gave you initially, right? You can also select to either have the driver hand it to you or they can just leave it on your doorstep, right? So I just selected leave it on the doorstep. It's still COVID time, right? And even though, most areas, with people that are vaccinated, like here in California, I was able to go into places without a mask. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. Now, I heard today that LA County is going to change that because I guess there's been a spike of cases down there, I guess from unvaccinated people. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe I'll do a separate stream on that, down the road. But yeah, you don't need to wear a mask in California, if you're vaccinated. But if you are if you're not vaccinated, you have to wear a mask. That's what that's how things are happening out here right now. So I'm like, okay, I just chose to have the driver drop it off the front door, right? So literally like 20 minutes after I placed this order, and remember the order, the estimated time of the order was to be delivered within 25 to 35 minutes. 20 minutes after I placed the order, I get this notification: your DoorDash order has been dropped off at the front door by your delivery driver. Let's make up the name Veronica. That wasn't her name, right? But let's just make that up, right? Okay. And then they take a picture and show you a picture of your front door, which was a hotel room, with a food order, right? So, so I go to the front door. I can smell the food. As I was walking towards the front door of the hotel room, I opened the front door. There's my food right there. Pick up the bag, go to the table. Activity partner and I sat down. We opened up everything. It was perfect, perfectly cooked, exactly as I ordered it. No complaints. Utensils, napkins. I'm like, Jesus Christ. This is insane. This is a high quality meal delivered to my front door at a hotel room. Now you can deliver it anywhere, right? I ordered this literally 20 minutes ago, and I have an awesome meal, high quality meal delivered to me exactly the way I wanted it. Right? Now, if I were to go to the restaurant, it might have taken longer, right? Because they're probably serving other people, and they probably have a separate department for the deliveries. But I'm just sitting here like, wow, this is too simple. It's too easy. I'm thinking to myself, I could get used to this, right? I could get used to this, right? And I'm not a lazy guy. I like going out there. I like going out and being around people and socializing with the bartenders or the servers and having a conversation. It's healthy. You get out, you feel good, right? You're communicating, right? With DoorDash, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to ever see the person delivering the food to you. You don't even have to say thank you. Now, I did tip the DoorDash driver like $20. Like, I'll tip very well, like, when I use a service like DoorDash, depending on the amount of the meal and all that, right? But you don't ever have to see the person, right? You don't have to communicate with them unless you want to, right? So we become extremely lazy, and we become avoidant of people, and to me, I'm like, Jesus, this is insane. This is just like, I cannot get used to living life in this lazy way. So the next day, which was yesterday, we went out and did our thing, walked around, hiked, did all that stuff, right? Okay. And I was just thinking, I was thinking of doing the same thing. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, maybe we should just go out and get something to eat. Maybe we should just go out, to a restaurant and just be around people because, we love being around people, right? But guess what happened? It was hot. We wanted to get back to our air-conditioned hotel room. And guess what we did the second night? We ordered DoorDash again. I started thinking to myself, I can't do this all the time. Because if I get too used to this, I'm going to start ordering DoorDash to my place. And I'm never going to leave, right? Next thing you know, I'm going to start to order groceries and have them delivered because Safeway will deliver your groceries for you. You literally don't have to ever, ever, ever leave your place if you don't want to. I'm beginning to more so see it. It's become way too convenient for us to get on these smartphones and order whatever we want. And in many cases have it delivered the same day within a few hours. If it's like a restaurant meal or if it's like a grocery, type of, purchase, from your local grocery store. Even Costco has Instacart. You can have Costco items delivered to you. You never have to even go into the warehouse. And I'm like, this is just not a natural way of living life. This is why people are gaining weight. This is why people are getting sick. They're not walking around. This is why people lack communication because there's no need to communicate with anyone. There's no need to communicate. These people that deliver stuff to your front doorstep, whether it's Amazon, whether it's DoorDash, or regardless of who it is, your local grocer, if you order groceries because you don't feel like going to the store to do it, like you never have to see these people. They just drop it off on your doorstep. They take a picture. They notify you on your phone, your order has been dropped off. Here's a picture. And all you have to do is go to your front door and pick up the order. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is why people have become the way they are. In all aspects of life, we become a lazy society. We're taking things for granted, right? And we're becoming more and more unhealthy each and every day because of it, because we're not going out and walking around and moving our bodies around to get some exercise in, right? We're having everything delivered to us because it's become very cheap and efficient to deliver things. And companies are making more money doing it that way. And they're more so promoting it that way. They're more so promoting it that way because it's just become convenient, right? But it's not healthy. It's absolutely not healthy. And, as I was, driving back home earlier today, I was just thinking to myself, the next time that I go out of town or something, I'm not going to use DoorDash at all. I'm not going to use any of these conveniences at all. We're going to go out. We're going to go to a decent restaurant. We're going to be around people. And, we're just going to live like people used to live normally before these devices came out. Yeah, I'll tell you folks, it's just, it just really saddens me how lazy of a society we've become. And now I'm personally seeing myself how easy it is, even for a person that's not lazy, to become lazy. All because these options are there. If these options weren't there, if these excessive options we have nowadays in all aspects of life were not there, the world would be a different place. These phones have given us a tremendous amount of options. Well, let's just call it the internet. The internet's given us a lot of options. And a lot of these options were already there before the smartphones came out because the internet came out decades before the smartphones came out, right? But the smartphones made it much easier to be lazy because they're portable. You can carry them anywhere. You can bring them with you on vacation and order food from your phone to your hotel, right? In the past, you had to either bring a laptop or, maybe a tablet or something. Well, even before tablets came out, you had to bring a laptop, right? And a lot of people didn't want to carry their laptop, right? But even back then, there were options like this, but there were fewer options. Now, there's an abundance of options. And like I said, you go back to the days before the smartphones came out, there were far fewer options. The same goes for dating sites. The same goes for the food service delivery, the food service industry, I mean. The same goes for, the consumables industry, like, non-edible consumables, like products. Like if you want to order cleaning supplies, or if you want to order computer parts or whatever you want to order, you can order that from Amazon and get it in 1 to 2 days, sometimes same day. It's just become incredibly lazy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to the browser source and go over the first Reddit posting. Then I'm going to take a quick break and come back and go through the other 3. So let's go ahead and, before we switch over there, let me make sure that nobody's commented on Facebook. Nope, Facebook is clear, and YouTube is clear. All right, let's switch on over to the browser source. This is from the subreddit r shower thoughts. And the topic is, or the posting states, because there is a correlation between intelligence and laziness, society isn't moving at its full potential. Yeah. Well, we have too many conveniences nowadays to make us lazy. Still no excuse, but, people love conveniences. You go back even 100 years ago, we hardly had any of these conveniences. Cars were just becoming mainstream. We've become a very, very spoiled and entitled society. And all the conveniences that, man created, and in some cases women were involved, just to be fair, right? All of the conveniences man created, look what it's done for us. Just look at that, right? We have cars with heated seats. We have air conditioning, right, to keep us cool when it's 100+ degrees, right? We have nice, plushy beds, right? We have, wait till we get, there's a posting with a smart refrigerator. When we get to that, it's going to blow your mind away. We have refrigerators now that are smart refrigerators with a big screen on them, with a camera that will show you what's inside the refrigerator without having to open it. And when I get to that one is a hilarious posting, right? But let's read a few of these responses here before we take the first break. On the contrary, because people are lazy, they invent things to do the work for them. But in order to make said things, people need to think, innovate, and work. I understand what you mean by that. You're saying that the person that created these modern conveniences had to work hard and wasn't lazy, right? I understand that. That's great, right? And listen, I'm not saying that using conveniences at times shouldn't be done. But if you find every single convenience possible, right, that right there is going to make you a lazy person. And it's going to affect your life in many ways, primarily your health. Probably your mental health and your physical health. You're going to gain a lot of weight because you're not moving around by not going out as much. And you're also not going to be talking with people, so you're going to have a lack of social skills, right? So what are we all going to do? Live like hermits? What? I mean, come on, right? On the engineering side, sure, but not on the discovery side. Engineers work on the backs of scientific discoveries to make it widely accessible by most people. Okay. Well, I'm an electronics engineer by day, so yeah, haha. So these engineers are laughing because the products they're creating to make us more lazy are making them a ton of money, right? Okay. Maybe they're not lazy themselves, But who knows? Maybe they use their own products, and maybe they are. Who knows? But it's not a lazy thing to create these products. But creating these products makes people lazy or lazier or the laziest they've ever been. Is there? And then one other person said, moving at its full potential. So we've pushed technology forward to its fullest potential, right? We've made things so damn easy for people that it's just made them so much lazier and more unhealthy. And it's also affected their communication skills. That's why nowadays, folks, I'm more and more beginning to see this, in the modern world. This is why when you talk with people, like on a dating app, like when I talk with women, when you talk with them by text, they're great. And then you get with them on the phone, and some of them can't even say a word, right? It's because we made it so convenient. We made everything such a convenience to the point of where people typically don't even have to talk with people to get their products and services they need nowadays. It's just become so surreal, in my opinion. Like, wow. I wonder how things are going to be, in 50 or 100 plus years from now when I'm not around. I wonder how much worse is it going to get? And I wonder if our future lifespans are going to start to get lower because of all these modern conveniences, right? I remember, I'll say one thing for it on the break, watching the movie Back to the Future, I think it was part 2, where they went into it was part 2, where they went into the future, into 2015, which now we're in 2021. And some of the things that Back to the Future part 2 stated back in 1985 when it came out. Sorry, I think it was 1990 when it came out. It was 1990. The first one was 85. The second one came out, I believe, was 1990. And the third one came out 6 months later in 1990 as well. But we still had, 25 years from 1990 to 2015. And they were working on that movie beforehand. It just took a while to make it. So they were thinking 30 years ahead in the future. And a lot of the things that they put in Back to the Future Part 2 was true, except for one thing that may happen at some point. In Back to the Future Part 2, there was a scene where I think was it Marty McFly's mother was hydrating a pizza. So she got this little teeny tiny, it was a little teeny tiny bread piece or something, right? Took it out of a package, right? Put it into something called a hydrator. I think it was a Black & Decker hydrator, right? These things, I believe they don't exist, right? She puts it in there. She says, hydrate level 4. And then literally in 3 seconds or less, this little dot hydrated into a full piping hot fresh pizza. And, thinking about this whole laziness thing, right? It just reminded me of that. Like, how much lazier would we be if we were able to, dehydrate food? And that way we keep it fresh longer, right? We can keep it around forever. And we don't even have to cook. We just, pop it into this hydrator and say hydrate level 4 or whatever. And in 3 seconds, you have a full piping meal, fresh, high quality, right? Now I'm sitting here and just saying, thank God that we don't have hydrators that, hydrate food that's been dehydrated, right? Oh, man. Queen Helen Kate says, with Amazon, they deliver by certain dates. Well, it depends what you get, Queen. There are some products that will deliver same day. Some are next day. So typically, you get it within 2 days. But there are some that have to come from different warehouses. And depending on the product, right? It may take a few extra days or sometimes a week. It depends, how the supply is and, what the supply and demand is. If there's less of a demand, it may be in a warehouse back east, and it might take longer to get to the West Coast. Or in some cases, some of the products that you need are only available in different countries and have to be shipped overseas, right? That would take longer. But pretty much, I will tell you this: 90+% of anything I've ordered on Amazon has arrived within 1 to 2 days max. Just unbelievable. Queen Helen Case says, I already have a lack of social skills. Why do you say that, Queen? I'm just curious to know. Let me know, and then when I get back from the break, we will talk about that. So, folks, I'm going to step away, take a quick break, and when I get back, the next 3 Reddit postings are going to be more interesting. Even the one that, let me do this. Let me switch back to full screen real quick here. Even the one that is about the refrigerator, which is the first one I'm going to go over. It's titled, We Are a Lazy Society. And when I read this posting here, I'll show it to you on the screen. Like, this person that wrote it, I believe it was a dude. He was like, a little bit upset. And he was just saying, seriously, what the F, right? So stick around for that. That's the first thing I'm going to go over when I get back. Then we're going to talk about socialists. How do you handle lazy people who don't want to work in a socialist society? Queen, you're going to like that one. And then the final one's going to be people who were nothing but lazy, useless sacks of dog do, let's call it that for now, but later transformed into useful, respectful, and intelligible beings of society. How did you do it? So we're going to show, hey, people that were lazy, how did they flip it around and not be lazy? Okay, so we've got some good stuff coming. So let me go ahead and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. And we'll step away for a quick break. Give me a second here. Let's see here. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for this quick break, maybe 5-6 minutes or so, 7 at the most. And then we're going to get right to it. So do not miss when I come back, because especially this first one I go over, it's mind-blowing. So stick around. We'll be right back. We're back, and we're just gonna stretch it and get right back down to business, so scratch it. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. They can all join me here tonight. We are doing this live stream on a Thursday. It is Thursday, July 15th, 2021. If you're watching this down the road on the replay, stick around and enjoy the rest of the show because it's about to get very interesting with this next Reddit posting I'm going to share. But the topic tonight is we live in a lazy society taking most things for granted. How to fix this? I'll be sharing that as well. Stick around for that. But one more time, the topic is we live in a lazy society taking most things for granted. How to fix this? Well, what's a quick and simple fix for this? Number one is putting this thing down every now and then. Sure, you're going to use this thing to, communicate with people and order things every now and then. But what about putting this thing down and maybe even flipping it backwards, right? And have a conversation with people. If you're going to invite people over to your place and hang out, it's interesting to me what I see when I hang out with people nowadays. They're holding this thing like they're like this. They're sitting on the couch or wherever, right? And you're trying to have a conversation with people, right? And they've literally got their phone like this, which I think is pretty freaking rude, right? You know what I do when I'm hanging out with people? I will turn the smartphone around this way so I can't see the screen. Now, every so often, I will glance to see if an important message comes through or something. I think that's okay, right? But if you're sitting here with your phone, face up and you're hanging around other people and a ton of notifications keep popping up and you keep looking at it, I mean, that's pretty messed up, right? Why are you hanging out with those people in the first place, right? So basically, a simple fix is just do this. That's a simple fix right there. You can fix it very easily, right? When it comes to, conveniences like DoorDash and ordering food to your place or a hotel room when you go out of town, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Do that occasionally, right? But don't do that every single time because part of experiencing going to a different area you've never been to while you're out of town is experiencing the restaurants, experiencing, what that town or area has to offer, right? And if you just, go out of town to sit in the hotel room and order stuff to your place, you're not doing anything. You're not really enjoying, that particular area, right? And you're also living a very unhealthy lifestyle. You're not getting around. You're not walking around and getting any exercise at the same time. And also, you're not socializing with people. So you're lacking communication skills, right? And social skills, right? Which we already know they've gone down the toilet in the modern world already, right? With the new generations, the millennials and the post generations. This is making it worse, right? So Queen Helen Casey says, she said before the break, I already have a lack of social skills. And then she said, I don't go out all the time. I stay in the house mostly. Now, Queen, let me ask you a question. Do you have all your groceries and everything pretty much delivered to your front door? Do you order them from your smartphone or your mobile device or any device you have? Like, do you ever go out and shop at the supermarket or do you have the supermarket deliver stuff to you? Right? I'm curious, how you do it. And so, I understand, I understand your situation, Queen, and I understand you said I have a lack of social skills, and I commend you for coming out publicly and stating that. You're a strong person. I respect you for that. But it really isn't the healthiest way to live life, in my opinion, with no disrespect to you or anyone else. It's not a healthy way to live life. It's not the way life was meant to live. I go get my groceries myself. I don't get them delivered. That is good. Awesome. Queen, I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that, Queen. Now, that's awesome. I do too. If I got lazy to the point of where I didn't go to the supermarket to get groceries and produce and stuff like that, man, I would probably I'd probably get up to 300-400 pounds. Like if I got that lazy, then I'd probably stop hiking and exercising and stop giving a damn period, right? And that's what a lot of people have done. That's why people are becoming very unhealthy very quickly nowadays. And a lot of people are dying at a younger age because of this. You're seeing it happen. And it's gonna keep getting worse if we don't make some changes. Well, let's get back to the browser screen, and let's scroll to the top here. This is from the subreddit r/rant. We are a lazy society. Yes, we are. Now listen to this. This is funny. So I believe it was a few weeks ago when I saw a top post on the front page of Reddit of a refrigerator in a home improvement store with a screen on it where someone had managed to get Pornhub to display on the screen. On your refrigerator smart screen? I thought it was pretty hilarious. That's probably a very, very lonely and deprived man that would have to put that type of video on his refrigerator smart screen. Most people don't have a smart screen on their refrigerator nowadays. I mean, some do. I mean, it's available, but most people still have a regular refrigerator. The ones with the smart screens are expensive. And why the heck do you need a smart screen on your refrigerator, right? So let's listen to what he says from this point. Fast forward to just a few minutes ago, where I find myself walking around an electronics and appliance store with a friend of mine, and I come across this same model of refrigerator, which is made by Samsung. Well, yeah, Samsung makes the best smartphones for the Android operating system, the mobile device system. Seeing it in person puzzled me because I just couldn't entertain the idea of having a refrigerator with a touchscreen the size of a small laptop. Yeah, I agree. What are we going to do? Stand in front of our refrigerator or put a chair in front of our fridge and watch TV on our fridge's screen? My friend notices that it has the ability to stream Pandora internet radio, which he and I both agreed that it is stupid to have a refrigerator that acts as a stereo when a smartphone that literally almost everyone has, along with a portable Bluetooth speaker, does the same for a fraction of the cost. Not to mention actually make damn sense. Let's just say damn sense. Let's not use the Lord's name in vain, okay? This guy used the Lord's name in vain. You can see it there on the screen. Then he goes, now here's where I get royally pissed off. I notice there's a capability that this refrigerator has where, when activated, uses an internal camera on the door inside the refrigerator so that you can look into it without opening the door. He's like, WTF. He's like, WTF? Right? What the F, right? And then he puts in big caps, right? In all caps, right? Have we seriously come to the point that we are so damn lazy as people that we can't even be bothered with the simple task of opening the effing door of a refrigerator to see what's inside? So we put a camera in there to be able to determine that, yes, we do in fact have eggs. Well, the only thing I can think of is it's probably more energy efficient to not open up your fridge as much. So if you can look at the screen and check out your inventory, it would save, a little energy, because every time you open up your fridge, and you close it, it lets out some of the cold air. So that means the fridge has to work harder to cool it down to the level it was before you opened it. But, if you only open it for 20 or 30 seconds, it's still going to be pretty cold. So yeah, I understand. Like there's a camera in these fridges so you can look and see what you have in the fridge without opening the damn door. Now that's pretty damn lazy. Leave it to Samsung to create a smart fridge that's not just for putting in your vegetables and your perishables and all that stuff, right? And your frozen stuff in the frozen, in the freezer, right? On the other side, right? Let's see what the people said in the comments section. Wow. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Nothing happening over on Facebook. Queen says, Samsung is always the best. No, I bet it's a pretty nice fridge, Queen. But what's the point of putting in a camera into the fridge so you don't have to open it? Like, I can understand the efficiency of it, but come on. How much power are you saving opening up your fridge for a few seconds to see what's in there and to pull something out? Wow. It would be interesting to see power drain rates and spoilage rates for camera versus non-camera models. That's the only thing I could come up with as well. Right? If you open up the fridge less, it's going to be more energy efficient, not having to work the motor of the fridge to, keep it cool. Work the system of the fridge, right? It does seem awfully decadent, yeah. But if it saves energy overall, I could learn to live with it and become even more lazy than we already are, right? The only thing I can make sense out of this whole thing is for energy efficiency. That's the only thing. But still, I think it's a little overkill. It's a damn fridge, for Christ's sake. It's not a fridge or a smartphone, right? And why do you need to have Pandora on there? Or why is this guy watching, the adult movies on there? I mean, seriously. Well, maybe if you're in your kitchen and you're cooking and stuff, right? And your fridge is facing you with that screen, maybe you could watch TV on it. I don't know. That's pretty insane. It would be useful in a restaurant kitchen. Well, in a restaurant kitchen, you probably could program it to have your inventory or stock on it. I can understand that, right? I can totally understand that, right? And maybe, for a home fridge, eventually you could probably program what you have in there. Maybe it can tell you if you're running low on something. But even then, that's making us more lazy than having to open up the fridge and see that, okay, we only have 3 eggs left. We better buy eggs. When we go to the supermarket tomorrow, we're going to have no eggs, right? How much lazier are we going to get because of technology, right? I actually think these are meant to be accessed from away from your house, like shopping, and you can't remember if you need something. Truly helpful at the grocery store, lazy if you are standing in front of it. I get that, right? So now you've got this smart fridge, and you get an app where you can actually, if you forget to take inventory, if you forget to look in your fridge to see what you need, and you're too lazy to write a list out like we all normally would do, right? You can add this high-end, expensive, smart fridge. Do it for you, even while you're at the grocery store. As long as you have an internet connection and your phone is receiving a signal, right? You go through the app, you look through the camera, or maybe the camera can read what's in there, and it'll tell you how much of what you have and what you need. Like, okay, listen, from a convenience standpoint, yeah, it sounds pretty cool, right? But how much lazier are we going to get? How many more things are we going to automate to the point of where we as human beings become useless, right? We're going to have the dumbest people on the planet within 10 to 20 years if this keeps going this way. This guy responds and says, that makes sense if it's linked to an app via Wi-Fi mobile network, but it doesn't make sense to be able to view the inside through a 3-inch insulated door. Yeah. And the last comment is, you can pretty much extend this rant to the entire Internet of Things. I won't be adopting one single aspect of it because its only purpose is to make people even more glued to the smartphone screen they're already glued to. Right, so that way they can feed you with ads and you buy more things that get shipped to your place instead of going to the store to buy them, right? I don't need to live my entire life through that little screen, and nobody else does either. Check your fridge before you head out to the grocery. Right. Watch your garage door go down before you drive away. Put coffee and water in your coffee pot before you go to bed. Adjust your thermostat before you leave for work. See, things that are all very easy and inexpensive to do without the IoT. What is that? For anyone with a brain and a little motivation. I don't know what IoT is, but anyway, I get what this person's saying. Right? We've been doing these things, especially us folks that have been around for 30 or 40 years. I'm 47, right? We've been doing these things manually for decades, even before this technology came out, right? And so that's why you're getting responses like this, right? The millennials and post-millennials, they're growing up with this, right? They think this is the norm. They think that this is the way to live life. This is a healthy way to live life. And it's not a healthy way to live life. It's not. It's making us dumber and lazier than we already are. That's the truth. I just got a comment from somebody I haven't talked to in a while. Andrew, what's going on, bro? I just got your message on LinkedIn. He said, it's not so much about being a lazier society related to technology, but please do a video on the essentials of crucial downtime from all computer-related stuff, such as resting more. Yeah. I just did the quick response to you, Andrew, because I'm on the air, right? I chose one of you go on these sites now, they give you, even YouTube does it too, they give you pre-filled 1 or 2 or 3 word quick answers. You touch a button, it responds for you. I don't even have to write it out. Thank you for watching, bro. I appreciate you, man. I hope you're doing well. All right, let me check out the chat here real quick before we get to the next Reddit. Queen says, there's nothing wrong with having Pandora Music app. On your fridge, Queen, I have Pandora app on my smartphone, and I use it in my car through Apple CarPlay or Bluetooth. This will explain what IoT is. All right, give me a second. Internet of Things. Oh, it's Internet of Things. Okay. We live with a lot of shorthand lingo and acronyms these days with combinations of letters like OOF, BRB, TYL, LOL, and IDK littering our texts and Slack messages. Okay. But there's one bit of shorthand that's showing up all over and poised to change the world, yet it's not so easy to wrap our heads around. IoT. Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, when the Internet became commonplace, we were all connected as an Internet of people. That has been life-changing, but it's about to change all over again. Soon it will be our devices and cars and phones and appliances. I just had a pop-up there, sorry. And more that are connected, not us. And this shift is going to turn our world upside down in a very good way, according to most experts. Some predict the changes will be so extreme, IoT will lead to the next industrial revolution. Well, it's already pretty much here. Look, from an efficiency standpoint, it's probably beneficial, right? from a laziness standpoint, it's not good, right? Okay. And here's the thing. How do we know that the companies that, install these smart screens on our, fridges and stuff that are, connected, I'm assuming through Wi-Fi, right? Aren't tracking us, aren't seeing everything that we're doing, can't see everything that's in our fridge, right? It's just another way in my opinion, it's another way for, companies to track us, right? To siphon more data, right? Without us even knowing, right? There's probably some opt-out privacy option, but how do we know if that really works or not, right? Whenever you opt out of something, how do you know you're actually being opted out, right? You don't. You really don't. So thanks for sharing that, Queen. That makes a lot of sense. I totally get it. Totally get it. All right, let's switch over to the next one. This is from the subreddit Capitalism versus Socialism. And this topic is socialists. How do you handle lazy people who don't want to work in a socialist society? From my understanding of socialism, everyone is provided for regardless of their situation. Food, water, shelter is provided by the state. Well, yeah, that's true. However, we know that there is no such thing as a free lunch. So everything provided by the state has come from taxes by the workers and citizens. So what happens to lazy people? Should they still be provided for despite not wanting to work? If they're capable of working and they're not working and they're taking advantage of the system, yeah, I don't respect that. For people that are truly disabled and can't do anything to work in society and to earn their own money instead of the taxpayers' money, I can't respect that. If so, how is that fair to other workers contributing to society while lazy people mooch off these workers while providing zero value in products and services? I agree. I agree with that. If not, how would they be treated in society? Would they be allowed to starve? Probably not. There are here's a funny thing. There are lots more options to people that are flat broke than the middle class, right? You probably heard this all before. This is just my opinion, but I think it's true. I'm just going to say it's my opinion, right? The rich are rich. The poor get the best benefits, and the middle class pays for everything, right? We pay more taxes, right? Because the rich have a lot of tax write-offs and they have fancy accountants that'll get them to pay no taxes, right? Okay. The poor, they have nothing, so they get everything from our tax dollars that primarily come from the middle class, right? So it's people like myself that get screwed, right? Yeah, I get it. Makes sense to me. Let's see what everyone else said. So everything provided by the state has to come from taxes by the workers and citizens. This isn't true. In socialism, there's no need for taxes. Publicly owned assets provide a direct source of revenue to fund public goods and services. That's the case sometimes. There are also nonprofit organizations that cater to these things, right? Okay. So in essence, those are funded by donations and not tax dollars, right? Because nonprofit organizations, okay, are not for profit, so they are exempt from taxes. They don't have to pay taxes, right? And instead, it's coming from donations. But let me ask you this. Well, in that case, maybe some of the rich people will donate some money, but they do it for tax write-offs, right? The middle class does a lot of donating to nonprofits, right? And they do it for tax write-offs too, but they also do it for a good cause. So one way or another, it is funded primarily, in my opinion, by the middle class. Taxes or not. It's either donations or taxes, in my opinion. Now, about lazy people in capitalism, those most deprived are often seen as the lazy. Those who have some mental health, demotivation, or addiction problems. Right. I've seen this happen. I've seen people like that on YouTube. There are studies that show that when people are provided with basic needs, for example, UBI studies, get psychological help or addiction treatment, they are much more likely to find a job and or be more productive, be a more productive part of society. Having a job is not the only measurement of someone's value to the society. This guy's from another state. He says the society, right? There is a lot of unpaid labor, L-A-B-O-U-R. He's from another country. That's not how we spell it here. That is important, for example, raising kids or caring for relatives. Additionally, people will have space to specialize in whatever they are passionate about. And more people will have professions they actually like, I mean. Yeah, it's important to like what you do. It keeps you motivated to work. Right. Of course, intrinsic motivation would not be the only incentive to work. There would be adequate financial rewards. Surely they will be some, I didn't even say there will be some genuinely lazy people who don't want to do anything and are satisfied with basics. Yeah, and those people will play the system and live off the system that's funded by people like me, the middle class, right? However, it is not like the society. I'm just going to read it American style. However, it's not like society would need their labor that much, because there would be no reason to regulate the speed of automation that will replace many jobs. The robots will be, again, owned publicly, so the wealth produced by them will go to everyone. That results in reduced working weeks and new creative, fulfilling jobs creation. I don't know, dude. That's your opinion. That's your opinion, and I mean, I agree with a little bit of what you're saying there, but not everything, man. Not everything. Yeah. I mean, everything's going to be automated soon. That is true. But as far as everything else you mentioned there, dude, that's just your opinion there. Just your opinion. This isn't true. In socialism, there's no need for taxes. Publicly owned assets provide a direct source of revenue to fund public goods and services. So in response to that, it says, profits from public enterprises are essentially identical to taxation, since they could only be derived from underpaying workers. Okay? That makes sense. I agree. In principle, it is similar but not the same. In capitalism, people's wages are not only stripped by taxation, but also surplus that shareholders keep to themselves just because they own something. So how are socialists more underpaid? It's a good question. They're having a conversation here. I'm not saying socialists are more underpaid. I'm saying there is practically no difference between being taxed and being underpaid for the same amount. If I work 10 hours but only get compensated for 8, that is functionally the same as being compensated for 10 hours and being taxed 2. In both cases, I end up with 8 hours of compensation, but the second case is much more transparent and open to participatory democratic control. You know, I do understand what he's saying there. That does make sense. The more money you make, the more you're taxed. And there's a point where working less would pay you the same amount after taxes. I get what he's saying. But there are things you can do, like put in money into 401k, and that would, help you tax-wise. And that's where working more hours and making more of a gross would make sense, because typically 401k is taken with pre-tax dollars, right? And it's taxed later. And if you withdraw it later on in life, as you get older, you're taxed less at that point. So he's not taking that into consideration. He's not taking retirement into consideration. How is it more open to participatory democratic control? Currently in the U.S., average Americans have zero influence in policy making and allocation of public funds compared to wealthy interest groups, corporations, and billionaires. With legal lobbying, there's only an illusion of democracy. And who said that there can't be democracy and transparency in any form of socialist governance? Yeah, I'm not going to read any more of this because I've said enough. I've said enough of that. They're just going back and forth, in my opinion, arguing a moot point. If you folks want to go and check this out, just go to the subreddit r capitalism v socialism. and you'll see it there. Or just, Google search the title socialist. How do you handle lazy people who don't want to work in a socialist society? Let's go to the final Reddit here, but let me check out the chat here real quick. The robots are already here. Of course, Queen, they've been here for a while. It's going to keep getting worse. It's going to keep getting worse. Everything's automated. Everything's automated. I mean, I like some automation, but if you're going to automate everything, I mean, we're all not going to have jobs down the road, right? What are we all going to become? YouTubers? All right. Let me check out Facebook real quick. Nothing happening there. Did I just check it a second ago? Yeah, maybe I checked it twice. All right. And the final Reddit is from the subreddit Ask Reddit. People who were nothing but lazy, useless sacks of dog doo-doo, let's call it that, but later transformed into useful, respectable, and intelligible beings of society. How did you do it? So how did these people convert from being lazy to being respectful and being a part of contributing to society, right? I started small by integrating very small but positive changes, and over time they accumulated. Specifically, dude, what were those positive changes, bro? That's a vague answer. You're being lazy with your response. I've watched this happen to a few people. They got married, had a child, and suddenly every day they pay attention, do their best. They become who they want their child to admire. Well, if you're in a relationship or a marriage and the couple is a lazy couple and it takes them having a child to not be lazy, that's pretty pathetic, right? I can understand wanting to, be better parents for your child, but shouldn't you take care of yourselves before any child comes into the picture? Why should it have to take a child to get you to stop being lazy? Why can't you just be a productive human being to society on your own? Like others have said, first get help with dealing with any substance abuse issues, detox, and make changes in your lifestyle. Good food, light exercise, drink water, regular sleep, then make a long-term plan that you can achieve with baby steps. I agree. Start small, but stick to it, right? Right? And if you are, abusing substances, you got to get the right help. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm a substance abuser. I've got to get help. And you got to go and get help. Therapy and fear, but I'm far from a good person yet. Well, at least you're acknowledging it. That's the first step. So acknowledging the issue is the first step. Then after you acknowledge it, when you're ready, hopefully shortly after you acknowledge it, then you're going to take action to correct it and become a more productive member of society. Therapy, quitting weed and alcohol, starting to pay more attention to those around me and trying to be the opposite of my mom, who is an alcoholic, manipulative, and hasn't done anything to get work or quit drinking. Well, it sounds like you turned out okay to be able to write this as eloquently as you did. But you were raised by a mother who was lazy, didn't work, and she's an alcoholic. I'm still not perfect. I rely on benefits and welfare, but I'm in a rehabilitation work program, and I'll start studying hopefully in the fall of 2022. Well, good for you. You're taking a positive step to bettering your life and to not be a lazy, sack of what. Right. I'll let you know if I ever if I ever evolve enough, but if you ask my ex, I got a little bit to go yet, LOL. Well, it sounds like you're on the right track. That's good. That's good. Maybe that's why she's your ex. Okay? Maybe you had some unresolved issues that you need to work on. At least you're realizing it. Maybe she was a good ex for leaving you. And you learned something, bro. That's awesome, man. All right, one more response here, folks. Get your questions, comments, or concerns in the chat. We're about to go off the air. We are at 1 hour and 21 minutes. I'm glad this went through pretty quickly. It's a shorter stream tonight. I'm going to keep it to an hour and a half or less. Cool. Kept on point tonight. I feel good after taking a couple days off. I stopped taking heroin, crack, and any other substance that I could inject, snort, smoke, swallow. Well, good for you. That was definitely messing you up. I had a child after 2 years, clean, and that straightened me out. Why does a child have to come into play for people to get straightened out? Why can't people be straightened out before a child comes into the picture? I wanted to be the best mom I could be, and in the process, I became a better person. And it takes a child, it takes getting pregnant and having a child to do that. Well, if that works for those people that do that, then I'm glad at least you're turning your life around and you're stopping to do, all the drugs that are just deteriorating your brain and keeping you from being a productive person in society. I was a single mom, but met someone after a few years. I'm now married with 3 children, and I don't even drink alcohol. Good for you. This is a great success story. Life is much better these days. Nobody would ever guess about my past. Well, that's the way everyone's story should end, especially if you were a substance abuser, or if you are a substance abuser and it's affecting you from being a productive member of society. This is a story that you need to listen to. And hey, you know what? If a child, if it takes a child and getting pregnant, having a child to turn that around. Now, as far as you guys go, well, if you got a woman pregnant, then maybe that's what it would take for you to turn your life around. But it shouldn't take a child and wanting to be the best parent possible to fix yourself first. You should be in a good place first before you have a child. But hey, things happen, right? And at least for some people in this situation, a child has made a difference, a huge difference to clean up their lives. And look what this woman did. She went from being a substance abuser to having a kid, being a single mom, and getting off all the drugs and cleaning up herself so she could be the best mom she could be. And then she found someone that accepted her child from another father and had 2 more children with this person. And now no one can even tell what she had been through in the past. Great job. Great success story. All right, folks. That's everything I have for tonight. Just wanted to do a quick stream because I was thinking about this topic since I went on vacation, or took a little getaway trip with my activity partner over the past few days. Queen is laughing in the chat, LOL. Let me check out Facebook one more time. Nothing happening over there. All right, folks. Starting tomorrow, it's business back as usual. I'll be back with at least 1, maybe 2 streams tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a Walking with Purpose stream tomorrow. But for now, we're going to get on out of here. And we're wrapping this up at 1 hour and 25 minutes. Have yourselves a great, let's switch back to full screen first. Have yourselves a great night. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.